Aston Villa. Up to second in the Premier League table with this win. Nottingham Forest still very much in a spot of bother. But Nedum, let's talk about Aston Villa, because again, speaking of bounce backs after what we saw against Arsenal, this was a nice one.
Yeah, very much so. They started very much on the front foot. I don't think Forest barely made a pass in the first 10 minutes of the game. And that sort of carried on throughout the match itself. They were very much on the front foot, trying to find that goal. And obviously it takes like a great finish from Watkins to sort of break that seal as such. But from when they did that, they were very much the better team, you know, from basically start to finish. I think when they scored to make it 2-1, you're thinking, well, you know, is this going to be a collapse? Are we going to see a side that, you know, maybe were punching above their weight and so on? But no, you know, it's a really, really good Aston Villa performance in front of their fans. And, you know, they can have that sort of belief again, because I think in some ways, for that Arsenal game, the belief was building up on a week-to-week basis, and now all of a sudden we're going to go and play Arsenal again, and we're going to go and beat them because we're in this title race. And they probably felt a bit more pressure than they probably have done at any point during that run. But I think that loss in some way takes the pressure back off them. And I think they played with an element of freedom and quality today, and you can see that from the stats, from the game, from the goals. Obviously, apart from the goalkeeper sort of losing, which zip code he was in. But you know, positive is a positive. It's a win is a win. Happy days.
A win is a win. And Shaka, Nedum's right. We keep wondering if Aston Villa are punching above their weight. But when you look at it now, in January, second place in the Premier League table, only just, of course, we're waiting for Manchester City to play. But what a job Unai Emery is doing.
Without question. Given the start they had to the season and then the run that they put together, all right, comes crashing down against Arsenal. And you think lesser teams fold. That was a proper beating they got from Arsenal. Lesser teams fold, and then you see the response and come up against a very different test in Nottingham Forest, who sat deep, were happy to soak up pressure, and kind of invited Aston Villa to break them down. Now, this is kind of how Sean Dyche has always gone about his business. And then Ollie Watkins, a moment of magic from him, really made the difference. And then coming out to start the second half and again doubled it, and Aston Villa just cruised from there. But you cannot, as you look at that table, right, regardless, and you look at who's there in the top four, where you're going to break it down to the top six, given Aston Villa's lack of spending, their PSR restrictions, the job that Unai Emery is doing cannot be understated. With what feels like a threadbare squad, feels like a squad that needs refreshing. Unai Emery keeps building these teams, and we wondered if that was the case earlier in the season. Keeps putting these teams out and getting performances. Even when he doesn't get performances, he often gets results in a way that, I'll be honest, I'm not sure any other managers can boast of.
Ale, do you know what? I think we've hit another level. We've got the Shaka Hislop Jamal Musiala voice, but now we have the Shaka Hislop Unai Emery praise voice.
Well, that and PSR restrictions.
Our boy does his homework. Yes, sir.
Is that you're the same guy that puts the power rankings together? PSR restrictions? Is that a thing?
It's a new year. It's a new year.
Oh, man. New Year's resolution.
New Year, same us.
The PSR restriction. What? Look, I was listening to the interview after the game by McGinn, in which he's talking about sort of the feeling in the locker room, and they asked him about the goal celebration, and it was sort of an inside joke within the locker room. But more importantly, he said, well, maybe this is the start of another 11-game winning streak. So it in a way, it tells me that if you're an Aston Villa player, you needed this win to put the Arsenal game behind you and the feelings of that Arsenal game, and understand that you're not going to play Arsenal every week. So you have proven that you can beat everybody else. And if you're not having to beat Arsenal every week and play them every week, and you don't have to concern about them, then you actually can string together results, and you have proven that you can do that. But they needed this win to jumpstart yet another potential streak. Aston Villa, they have nothing to lose and everything to gain. We talk about the pressure on Arsenal, the pressure on Manchester City. Aston Villa are right in the way. And it's a great place to be, because all those other guys are expecting to do something. If you're Aston Villa, where you are right now, you're flying and you are playing with house money.
All right, well, can I just say...
and PSR restrictions.
And PSR restrictions as well. Nedum, did you want to chime in again on Aston Villa?
Yeah, I was going to say, barring those PSR restrictions, which are obviously very tricky for Aston Villa, Shaka very once wisely said, I think this is a story of Emery with the coaching, but then with the belief. I think you saw that with Villa today. And when the belief is there, I think everybody has played. You know, you can have the quality that you have, but when the belief comes with it, before you know, you can find a level of performance that maybe other people didn't think that could be there. And as you say, as you look at that Villa side, they can compete against absolutely anybody, absolutely against everybody. And as they go to the training ground tomorrow, oh, we've won again, we've won again, we've won again. Who's next? Who's next? We've won again. Europe's going to be kick-starting in a few weeks, and everything's fantastic at that club at this moment in time. And who's to say that they can't do that 11-game run again, as Alex just mentioned?